All right, basics 4 or 5 practice. Front look, front of it. This is the homework pass. So number one, I keep pushing this technique. I don't know why you won't accept it in your heart. If you don't want fractions, you get rid of fractions. These numbers are a little big for something I expect to do without a calculator. It's a practice sheet. The 8's cancel. You're left with 3 times 5x minus 4. 13 times 8 is going to be 104. Not that bad, really. And then we distribute the 3 in. 3 times 5 is 15. X, because there's an x. 3 times 4 is negative 12. And we're equal to 104. We're going to add 12 to the other side. The last basics quizzes I graded, I bet there were 10 kids who saw minus 12, so they took away 12 on both sides. Where have you been since 7th grade? You add 12, and 104 and 12 is 116. So 15x is 116, you divide by 15, and that's my answer. That is my answer. All right, number 2. Since you guys mostly had Buckley, and Buckley's a big fan of always shifting left, we're going to move our x's left, and we're going to move our numbers right. Negative 15 plus 8 should be negative 7. We're going to divide by a negative 6. And if you divide by a negative, you flip the inequality. So negative over negative, by the way, is positive. It's now x is less than 7/6. And I would probably have this as an interval, negative infinity to 7/6. That's how I'd present it. Moving on to number 3, I subtract 1 from both sides. Absolute value of, I don't know why it says 2/8, but whatever. A quarter x minus 5 is equal to 7. I reduce the fraction. Now I'm going to write 2 equations. Where that quarter is, I don't want to mess with it. One equation is a quarter of x minus 5 is 7, or the other one is negative 1/4 of x plus 5 is 7. There's 2 equations. There's going to be 2 answers. Talked about that. I'm going to isolate before I fix this one, because this one's easy to fix. A quarter of x is 12, and now I have 4 both sides. Cancels. That gives me x is 48. Or, there's this guy. I subtract 5. A quarter x is 2. And I'm going to multiply both sides by a negative 4. That cancels out the negatives, cancel out the 4s. X is negative 8. So, 2 answers. For either 48 or negative 8. Then we have this one, which is a skill that most kids in the state of Tennessee cannot do. I think Dresden's at around 50-55% by year end. State average is around 21-22%. Can do. Try and be better than the state. Try and be better than the county. I have a track record. My kids are usually a whole lot better than the county, and usually a whole heck of a lot better than the state. You are solving for x, so x is left. Negative 6x has a left. That one jumps over, becomes positive, plus 7xy. 5 is fine where it's at. That one jumps over, becomes negative. Factor, your favorite F word. I'm going to pull the x. That'll give me negative 6 plus 7y on the inside equals 5 minus 2y. Now, let me rewrite this line so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to counteract that multiplication operation with division. And I'm also going to rewrite this because 7y minus 6 just looks better. And there you go. Done. Because these two canceled. All right, moving on to the distributive and double distributive property. It's pure double, by the way, at this point in time. I'm done with the distributive property. Pure double. Sooner or later, we'll have triple. It's coming. X times x is x to the second. X times a negative 7 minus 7x. Negative 4 times x minus 4x. Negative 4 times negative 7 plus 28. Combine your like terms. X squared minus 11x plus 28. Not that hard. 2x times 5x is 10x to the second. 2x times 2 is plus 4x. Negative 7 times 5 is minus 35x. Negative 7 times 2 is minus 14, which I didn't write. And then I combine my like terms. I believe in the middle there is a minus 31. If you can learn how to double distribute, you'll probably learn how to factor. The simple function notation, plugging in numbers, find f of negative 3. A negative times a negative is a positive. A negative 3 squared is 9. 3 times 9 is 27. 27 minus 7 is 20. I don't know why so many kids cannot plug a number in. I don't know. I just don't know. Number 8 is find the slope. Formula for slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I don't understand why this question doesn't have a 100% success rate. 100% of all students should get this right. It's not even close to 100%. It's probably 80% amongst the junior class. I don't understand it. How am I supposed to teach you anything if you can't do slope? Anyways, figure it out. Watch some videos. 13 minus 6 is going to be 7. 5 take away negative 5 is 10. 7 tenths. This one right here too. Everybody should get that. It is slope. It's the same thing. Granted, you have a formula. F of B minus F of A. Sitting pretty over B minus A. I'm sorry you're scared by that thing. Go off to the side. This is A, this is B. Figure out what F of 2 is. I mean, you should be able to do that. F of 2 is, look at the symbolism. There's a negative symbol. There's something that's squared. I'm plugging a 2 in. And minus 2. I'll show all the work. We have a negative symbol. We have a 4. We have a minus 2. So a negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. That negative 6 will go right here. Minus because there's a minus. Now I got to figure out f of a. That is f of a negative 4. Back to this. A negative 4 squared minus 2. A negative 4 squared is 16. But there's a negative symbol out front. I know that some of y'all cannot do this. I wish I could make you repeat 4th grade. Because you need it. Negative 16. Moving left 2 is negative 18. Minus a negative 18. And it is sitting over 2 minus a negative 4. All right. Taking away negatives addition, this is negative 6 plus 18, which is a positive 12, and 2 plus 4 is 6, and this thing ends up having an average rate of change of 2. And that is the front side of that one. So now I got to do some more.